Yeah.
All right, 10:03 on the fan. What's happening? This is the Tiki and Tierney Show. What's good, everybody? How are you today, Tiki? You all right?
Yeah, fantastic,
Yeah, right?
man. I'm just thinking about my Giants.
Still, huh?
Yeah, I mean, look, Brian Daboll, congratulations to him. He's one of the, I guess you call it a finalist to the final three for the Coach of the Year award. It's always going to go to that team that significantly overachieved the preseason expectation. That's why he's on the list and Doug Peterson's on the list. Or it's going to go to the coach who was just ridiculously good and hasn't lost since October 23rd, and Kyle Shanahan with the 49ers. So we'll see how that pans out. He did a fantastic job this season. We all know about Wink, Martindale on the defensive side, and Kafka on the offensive side, both of whom have had interviews for head coaching. But the Philadelphia Eagle divisional game showed us the enormous talent gap between the Giants and the Eagles. And while the Eagles are going on to the NFC Championship game, and we're talking about how they got things to where they are, now the focus for the Giants falls on Joe Schoen, who we love, and we've been enamored with his astute pickups, whether it's Isaiah Hodgins or how well he drafted. But now, if you want to be a competitor, and he acknowledged this, the talent gap. He talked about this 2 days ago in this press conference with Brian Daboll. Now the emphasis falls on him. And because we're a quarterback-driven league, it starts with Daniel Jones, and it starts with him putting a winner around Daniel Jones. There's a couple ways to do this, but here's my way of doing this, BT.
Okay.
We've seen over the last 3 years or so wide receivers who are likely not going to get paid at their current destination, or there's just some kind of disconnect. A.J. Brown is a perfect example in Tennessee. They just gave him away for a song, and the Eagles took advantage of it. You have to go find that guy before he's a free agent. Tyreek Hill was this way. A.J. Brown, as I mentioned, there's been some others. You can either do it that way, and I have a list of guys, a couple of guys that I actually want to really go get. Mike Evans is one, but he's getting a little older. But if I'm going to go younger, I want T. Higgins for the Bengals.
I like T.
Or Michael Pittman Jr. from the Indianapolis Colts if they decide to strip it down and take over. I need that star, that stud wide receiver to pair with my quarterback, just like Joe Burrow has, just like Tua has, just like Jalen Hurts has, just like Justin Herbert has. Like all of these young quarterbacks who we're saying are top 10 or going to be top 5 at some point, they have a star wide receiver. The Giants don't have it, and they have to go get it. And this is where Joe Schoen is really going to earn our praise. If he gets this done and helps Daniel Jones become the star that we know he can become, then, or at least we think he can become, then Joe Schoen is really going to be executive of the year mentality, in that category right now. That's where the focus now shifts. Brian Daboll, great job. You crushed it as a rookie.
You can chill for a little bit.
You can chill for a little bit.
Yep.
This will be in
Joe
conjunction
Schoen,
with you a
you're
little
up.
bit. Now, Joe Schoen, you're at the box.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, that's true. You know, the star wide receivers is paramount for the Giants. I'm not so sure that free agency is the best way to get them. But, you know, what? See, this is a lot more complicated than people think, because the oversimplification is Danny Jones had a terrific season. You got to pay him. You got to figure out what you're going to do with Barkley. Then you attack free agency, and you just kick ass in the draft. That's lining up the basics, I agree with that. But the circumstances are very, very tough for Joe Schoen. I asked Tiki rhetorically. I still don't know the answer. Like, I don't. So it's not rhetorical. I don't know the answer. The exact opposite of Red. I don't know. I tried to find the answer. I couldn't, which leads me to think that there is no answer, that this is the first time this has ever happened. The last time that an NFL team had to pay their quarterback, franchise quarterback, and their franchise running back, both in their mid-20s, both in their primes, both top 10 picks, meaning tag and exclusives. I mean, it's punitive in some cases. And they're both up at the same time. When does that happen?
No, it never does.
It's never happened here with either the Jets or the Giants. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So that immediately complicates the finances. And I know the Giants' finances are actually in really good shape. And next year, they're in better shape. Right now, they're around 2-4, depending upon which database you use. Next year, they could be number 1 or number 2 in most available free agent money. There's ways to do this. But it is not, I don't know that there's a roadmap that Schoen can look at any other franchise and say, all right, well, this is how they navigated it back then, and now this is how we can do it now. Now, I've got something crazy for you, but I want to just throw a little bomb in the room and just kind of, abruptly U-turn off of your point. I'm going to save what I have for a little bit. Now I'm going to flip to you. Let's say they get T. Higgins. Mm-hmm. Where do they stand?
You also have to draft well.
Agreed.
It goes without saying.
Because even if they rolled into Philly with T. Higgins the other night, they're still getting stomped, in my opinion.
Of course, because you need. We see this with even the Jets. The Jets had a bad end of the season, but the construction of the Jets was correct.
Yeah.
Right. You bring in a free agent, a star, not a superstar, but he's somewhat of a star. And Corey Davis, a wide receiver. You draft Garrett Wilson. You have Elijah Moore. You have these pieces around. You draft a really great running back, even though it was a later round guy or even second round guy, and then you get another one even later in free agency. You draft all this talent. You bring it in via the college market. You attack free agency with aggression. Right? What is our hole? How do we fill it? Right? We needed secondary help. All right, we go get 2 free agents in the secondary. We draft another guy. You have to do it both ways. For the Giants to follow that mold and follow that mentality, the difference is they have the quarterback, at least we believe, in Daniel Jones. You got to surround your up-and-coming talent with guys who are going to help lift them, and then ultimately they take the reins and then start lifting everybody else. Right? That's what Jalen Hurts has done. It's the prime example. Right? They bring in free agents, they draft really well, Devontae Smith, others, and Jalen Hurts kind of benefits from having better talent around.
There's no question, but they're not paying Jalen Hurts $35 million a year, which enables them to do that. Yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah, that becomes
how are you going to get
issue.
What is T. Higgins worth? $25 million? If he, when he gets the open market, 25-ish?
Yes, but you probably don't have to pay him right away. But yes, you're right. 22 to 25.
Okay, so, and I'm all ears. I'm legitimately asking you to explain to me, how do you pay Daniel Jones 35-ish, T. Higgins 25-ish, Saquon 12-ish, and have a team that's going to be good?
This is why Joe Schoen has to earn his continued praise.
Yes, but this is why I've actually got something that I think a lot of people are going to not like, but it might be the best route. You tell me when you want to hear it.
Yeah, I just think because on my mind, and I think a lot of Giants fans feel the same way, Daniel Jones is our guy. He's earned it. He's spent, and we'll get to it in the next segment. He's earned it. He was in horrendous circumstances. Hell, even the owner, John Mara, was talking about how they've done everything to try to ruin this kid. Mm-hmm. Talking about Daniel Jones, but he's earned our praise. He's earned our respect. He's earned his leadership. I think the locker room gravitate. He works his butt off. We know this. He did everything he was asked to do. Joe Schoen and Daboll said that many times. He's done everything we've asked him to do, and I think he's only going to get better with another year in the system. Hopefully Kafka stays, or even he doesn't. At least Daboll is here. Another year, he's only going to take more and more steps to being that guy. So you got to make a decision on Daniel Jones. To me, and I think for most Giants fans, it's Daniel is my guy. I love how he's come to where he is. We now have to it's incumbent upon us to surround him with superstar talent. And that's going to get a free agent, that's drafting around him so that he can truly shine. And now in a position to lift, he can lift all of these other guys around him. That's where I think most Giants fans are. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're done with him.
No, I think that you're right. I think that your instincts are. I think that's what most Giant fans are thinking right now.
Because the last thing I want to do is start over. Right? And this is why it's not an easy conversation, because you could make an argument, and I know you will, that you should start over.
Well, let me throw this at. Yeah, and I'm going to save the specifics of the argument or the presentation for next segment. Yes, but we talked about some of the circumstances. And listen, every team that wins games, I mean, nobody wins 40 to nothing every week. So there's, an element of luck. And when you catch a team on, I don't know, they have a short week or injuries, there's circumstances that obviously position you in a more favorable spot to beat a team or win games, whatever. Giants aren't alone. Jets did that early on, beating backup quarterbacks. Giants did that this year, a bit of a soft schedule, whatever. But I think where I wrestle internally with the Giants' plan is that Jones is good. Mm-hmm. He's good. I don't know if he's that good.
But he's better than most.
I understand that. But you can put all your resources into Daniel Jones. Well, he's better than most that are out there.
Yes.
That will be available. Yes. Yeah, no, I agree. Yes. And you can devote this massive chunk of resources, 35, 36, whatever the number is with Jones, right? And give him $100 million guaranteed, whatever the number is. And next year, schedule gets tougher. Giants aren't as lucky, whatever word you want to use, no disrespect intended. And they go 6-11. And they pay the quarterback big-time money. You say you don't want to start over, and I understand that. But there's a chance that they give him all that money, and they're unintentionally starting over next year anyway, at least based on the record when it's all said and done. They're not a lock to be really good next year. They're just not.
Well, not if Joe – I don't think that happens. The scenario you painted, I don't think it happens.
They won one divisional game.
If Joe Schoen does his job the way that his job needs to be done. I'm not saying you got to – I'm not saying anything other than – when you've done a good job, and we'll know when he's done a good job. The league will know when he's done a good job. The NFC East opponents will know when he's done a good job. When all of a sudden there's T. Higgins in the wide receiver room, just like in Philadelphia, all of a sudden A.J. Brown is in the wide receiver room. It's just like, dude, what the hell just happened? And Tyreek Hill is in the wide receiver room in Miami. What the hell? What are we talking about? Like, it's just, there's a different feel when there's that elite player in the room. The circumstances are very different with all of those scenarios I played out, just parsed out, because you're right. The quarterback is on the rookie deal, and Daniel Jones is not on the rookie deal. But this is why this job is hard.
It's a tough one.
It's why you have to earn it.
This year was almost easy. No expectations.
In retrospect, yes.
In retrospect,
for sure. Absolutely.
Not coming into the season.
No. Looking at it in season, it was probably like, dude, this is the hardest. Like at the beginning, this is the hardest job anybody has.
Well, now the critiques come, and now the analysis is a little bit more.
Yeah, the honeymoon is short.
Raw.
The honeymoon is short.
It's short, and that's not against Shane. Shane's terrific. Dable's awesome, but that's just the way of the NFL. All right, 877-337-6666. Tiki and Tierney on the Fan inside of our Town Fair Tire Studio. Our friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Now, I've got a question for you. I don't know the answer to this particular player. I think it varies based on the player and the circumstances. So if we're all in alignment that Higgins should be the number one target, and I think that's a, if you polled old Giant fans, he's up there.
Exactly.
All right, he's definitely up there.
He's young. He's a stud.
He's ascending, no doubt. But when you pay a number two like a number one, and the number two was able to operate with one of the 3 or 4 best receivers on the other side, whose command, I know he was hurt a little bit this year, Chase, but he's been there a couple of years. They played together, and Higgins has benefited. So I know Higgins is good. Is he that good without Jamar Chase?
Well,
and if he's not, why are you giving him $25 million?
I think you have to. Sometimes you got to take a leap of faith, and you don't pay him right away because you don't need to. But
somebody's going to pay him right away.
Well,
so the Giants are not going to have the luxury. Well, if we're going to make you wait. No. Somebody's going to say, "Here's $25 million. Come to us."
Here's the best
we'll
thing.
Pay you like
here's the best thing that can happen for whoever wants T. Higgins. The Cincinnati Bengals beat the Kansas City Chiefs this weekend, which I think is going to happen. By the way.
I do too.
With Mahomes banged up. And then they go to the Super Bowl again, and they win a Super Bowl.
Oh.
Because if the Cincinnati Bengals win a Super Bowl, Chase is getting paid.
Oh, no doubt.
Right? Tyler Boyd, I don't know. He's 29. He's a free agent the same year. Maybe he asked for money earlier. So, one of those guys.
Burrow's about to get $50 million a year, too, soon.
They're all going to start asking for money.
That's right.
And you can't pay them all.
No.
You got to pay Burrow. You know you got
And
to
they're
pay.
cheap, too, Cincinnati,
Exactly.
historically.
So you
They're
know
always
you got to
tight.
play Burrow. You know you got to pay Chase.
Yep. You got a couple. You got 2 tackles.
Two tackles.
Left and right are up this year.
Exactly.
Their star linebacker up.
There's not enough money to pay T. Higgins.
Yeah.
So if they win a Super Bowl and it's not about let's just win this for the team,
You can justify letting somebody walk because you delivered the title.
Let's
go Bengals.
Which is exactly what happened.
What Tiki's saying.
Exactly. Seriously.
I know. I hear you.
Selfishly,
You're not wrong
let's
with
go
that.
Bengals because I want T. Higgins. Just like Tyreek Hill, whoever wanted Tyreek Hill, you
Yep.
guys wanted Tyreek Hill. The Jets.
Yeah,
You
he
know
didn't
what?
want us.
He had already won a Super Bowl. He was already the man, right? I know you can't pay me because you're paying all Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and all these other guys all this money. I'm walking after my free agent when my free agent year comes. So you might as well trade me now. So if you're Giants, you're rooting for the Cincinnati Bengals because you want the T. Higgins to want to be out of there after he's won a Super Bowl, and therefore you can potentially grab him in New York. And that's where it gets really dicey. Like for Joe Schoen, it gets really nuanced. It gets really into the weeds of how he's going to communicate and do his job. And if he does it well, the Giants can truly flip and be a viable team and win more than one division game, right? They can compete with the Eagles. They can compete, and it's not just wide receiver. It's not just wide receiver. It's other things as well. Defense is, secondary, etc. But they can compete with the Dallas Cowboys, who nobody has trust in. I think they're better than the Washington already, and then they'll probably stay better than Washington. So they can become viable for the NFC East like that if this job is done correctly by Joe Schoen. Okay. That's where the pressure is right now. As this offseason starts to kick in and we wind down and we pat Brian Daboll on the back and we say, good job, Daniel Jones, and fantastic resurgence, Saquon, and blah, 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 Wink, Kafka, whatever. Joe Schoen's on the tee box right now. So we'll see how he does.
Just don't dribble one. We don't want any worm burners. I hear you, Teak. 877-337-6666. Our number. Hoff, by the way, bags number 5 in a row. Hoff again. He is on fire. He's making you money. 5 straight with the picks, with the hockey. My goodness gracious. All right, so you heard Tiki's plan. It's a sensible one. I've got one. I believe it's sensible. I believe that you will think that it's ridiculous. But it doesn't mean that it's not the right way to go. I'm going to lay it on you, and we'll do that coming up next. Get your calls as well. Tiki and Tierney right here on The Fan.